When I was about 8 years old, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. So from my understanding, dyslexia was like a learning disorder.
I'm a totally blind person to introduce my impairment, so I do not have any light perception.
I'm a mother of 2 teenagers. My girl is the typical child, and then my son is actually the one with autism.
Classical phase of the disability that we see is a child in a wheelchair with cerebral palsy or the visually or hearing impaired child. But those are actually the smaller number of children. The largest number of children we have today, as much as 10 to 12% of children, are those with learning problems. And there are 3 or 4 main groups of children here. The children who are born with some degree of intellectual impairment, children who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, children who have dyslexia and other learning problems. And finally, the biggest group that's growing is the children with autism, which occupy almost 1% of all children who are born.
一个孩子他被诊断为自闭症是需要符合3大条件，其中包括他们的社交 behavior， 他们会有一些重复性的行为，还有一个是他们的语言发展。
When they are diagnosed with this kind of disability, it will directly affect this child's occupational performance.
I would say the memory is still very fresh in my mind. I mean, that time actually I suspected something.
So we made an appointment with the pediatric department. We managed to meet up with Dato' Amar. Then after the interview, he said, autism disorder. So the moment he said that word, I remember I think both of us were blank.
Actually, when he was born, it was really total zero. I'm not sure how to raise him and all that. In the first place, it's because I couldn't accept that my son is blind.
Because from we expect it's a normal child, suddenly that we realize she's not normal. I remember I felt very hopeless. In a sense, I feel that there will never be a happy ending for me, my family and my son.
When I was about 8, I started my first year of junior school at Ave Maria Convent. And I had a lot of difficult time because I couldn't understand what the teacher was delivering in class. So I was constantly confused, and then I started to become very underconfident with myself.
A few drawings that she did at that time, I could sense that she's not happy because she would draw like fire, fire, black fire. You know, I couldn't kind of pinpoint what's the problem.
Of course, we were very sad for the first few days. But we understand that the earlier we can take action, it's better for our son.
So I told myself that he's still the same child before I know the diagnosis. So now I know the diagnosis, I can focus on how to help him.
我们可能是治疗方面的专家，可是父母是孩子的专家，没有任何一个人比那个父母更了解他们的孩子。
So from there, actually, I learned mixing with other parents, as well as working together with teachers, how we should handle our child. So I can see actually the difference between how we teach a typical child as well as a special child.
So I took 6 months leave to shadow my son to school. Then I have to prompt him to walk to the classroom. When he reach the classroom, he will be looking around in the classroom. So all the situation have the picture chart. When he finished the sequence, I give him a star. So after that, he can do better.
Before this also, I enroll him into any workshops, like baking workshops, that are willing actually to accept him, provided I'm there. Okay, then I got no problem. And sometimes also I bring along my daughter, because siblings relationship is so important. And as long as they can accept him, I will just give it a try.
I have to psychologically tell myself that I'm a super mom. We have to put in more effort, have to have like more energy, and I have to work very efficiently.
When you slowly gain the confidence and when you slowly see the improvement in our child, that automatically, without people pushing you, you are more willing to put in more time in helping our children. As parents, first of all, we must learn to accept the fact that only they can influence the family members and friends around you to accept our children as well.
So Network is an organization where parents look for resources to enable other parents to get the services they need, whether financially or by getting a service provider. Network is an organization where parents try to start services that are lacking. Network is an organization where parents link parents with other parents so that they can find out what's happening, how to move forward. So it's really a wonderful organization. We're very delighted that the parents have taken it very far.
So Network also does a lot of training for parents and teachers, including medical professionals as well, at a very affordable fees. When I first delivered the diagnosis, most of the time parents will ask, so is he going to be okay? Or is he going to be normal or cured? So I would like to ask them back, what is normal? Is there a normality? We are all different. So they sometimes will say, oh, just like other children. So I would say, every one of us is different. But if you ask me whether he can go to school, will he get a job, will he find some friends, I would say these are all possible, but we have to start early.
How can we improve people's life, not people's day? So it's very different. So when we try to consider people as their own self, with their own identity, with their own feelings, emotion, so we will start to think what they need: access to education, access to books, access to information, access to communication.
Our new education minister, he has said that by the year 2023, 70% of children with special needs must be included in the mainstream for inclusive education. That means we can see that the ministry is really very serious on implementing the inclusive education. We also have a circular issued in 2018 in the month of March. The circular name is Penglibatan Ibu Bapa dan Community secara sukarela di dalam pembelajaran anak-anak di bilik darjah.
My parents have done a very good job in raising me. They've been there, constantly giving support my entire life. And then right now I'm in university. They can't help me anymore, but I know that they're gonna keep supporting me, and that's why I dare to push past my boundaries, try different things, because I have this support and I'm not afraid to fail. All the hardships that we face is kind of part of who we are. We're not imperfect, we're just different. So don't be afraid. You're gonna be able to do it. I thought I couldn't do it, but I can.
And let me tell you, I'm not the bright student. I'm just an average student who learns and do not fail to learn more from my counterpart. So I always have assistance from my friends, from my professors, from my mother, from my parents, and from my circumstances, from my nature. So every day I learn something new.
Although our child has special needs, but our life no need to be all about autism.
比如讲，可能星期六的时候，他是帮我照顾家先，我去做我的facial，去扮美美。
就是我们尽量会给
自己有时间去减压也好，
减压，做自己喜欢的事情。
To have a successful education system as a developing nation, inclusion is essential, is vital. So no child should be left behind. Every child has a potential, and it is our duty as a citizen to also support this group and empower them in all ways that we can, and also make them as a successful individual contributing to the nation.
This is not a disease or disability in front of it, it's a child. And I think we need to see that very clearly.
I think love, definitely they will feel it. Even if they don't tell you, I think that definitely has supported them all the way. And even if I'm not around next time, love is still there. That will carry on. Will give them strength.
这是一场马拉松赛，不是一个短跑，还有很长的日子需要走下去，所以我们尽量保持乐观，互相扶持。
Then I remember what Confucius said, a journey of 1,000 miles start with a single step. Just think of what to do now and start from there.